This is Periwinkle, and it is a non-native species that has gotten into Hampton Park mostly through garden waste. People have lived along the back of the park for many, many years, and unfortunately a lot of people just didn't know any better and they chucked it back here. So unfortunately it spreads and it has taken over certain areas of Hampton Park. So you will see this, and if you want to remove it, by all means, please do. It's actually not that difficult. This is one of those plants where, yes, you could dig out the roots, but if you continually weaken it over a few years, and we reseed with some native species in here, we can probably eliminate it within a few years. Now, if you are going to clear it in Hampton Park, I need you to be really, really careful of native species that are here. So here we have an ostrich fern just coming up, and it's a small one, okay? This only has 2 fiddleheads that I can see. They may be producing a little bit more, but this is a very young fiddlehead. Same with this one. I can see 3 on there. Could be 4. So you need to be able to weed around them. So the easiest thing with periwinkle is you kind of follow it. It trails along the ground, and like strawberries, it puts out little runners. So you want to find one of those little mounds and you want to lift up. Okay, so you just follow it down and give a good yank. And just make sure, as I said, check the area that you're not taking out anything that's native, because there is also some trout lily back here. Let me see if I can't find some of that so you can see what it looks like. La 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 la. Oh, trout lily. Where's my trout lily at? Oh, well, there's another fern over there, though. Oh, and some more periwinkle. Those are honeysuckles, I believe. Okay, well, I can't find any trout lily in the immediate vicinity, but it is here. Trust me. It's got a long leaf and it's speckled with sort of a brown marking, named for, the trout. So back to our periwinkle. So again, like I said, you've got to be careful that you're not going to pull out anything that we want to keep, and that takes a little bit longer sometimes to establish. So again, it's just a question of finding the little mounds, follow the runner down, and pull. And this soil here in this area of the park is usually quite moist, which typically makes it easier to pull the roots out right by hand. But in general, it's always easier to pull out roots after a storm, and we have definitely had rain. In fact, we had that nasty storm that blew through here a couple of days ago, took out one of the branches on one of our black cherries. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get most of this out of Hampton Park before these little buggers open up and start spreading themselves again. Like I said, they do spread by runner and by seed, by rhizomes underground. So overall, just a tough plant to deal with. But let's take a look over here. I spot something else which is native. And here we have one of our trilliums. And that's a white one, so that's actually quite unusual for Hampton Park. We have mostly reds. And that's unusual for the rest of the city because whites are more dominant for sure. And I hate to bust a myth, but it is not the official flower of Ontario. It's not, or it is the official flower, pardon me. It's the official emblem, but it is not protected technically. A bill was brought into Queen's Park many, many years ago, but it was never passed. But I'm glad that the myth survives because it's just a good idea not to pick these. They're called a spring ephemeral for a reason. Ephemeral meaning they don't last very long. So once this one flowers and dies back, it'll go back into the soil, and literally you will never know it was even here. So unless you are really good at spotting the little fiddleheads that are also around it, you will not know that this was ever here until it flowers again next spring. Right, back to periwinkle.